Today we're going to go into the story of the man who was an adult that pretended to be a teenager, and for a while he actually pulled it off. Was he someone that wanted to relive his high school glory days, or did he have a genius plan to make it out of a situation that he almost got away with?
I dropped 40 in 3 quarters on the #1 team in the nation. That's true though.
Bro, you're a literal 25-year-old man and you're talking about the #1 nation and there were kids. I don't give a fuck if it's my verd. Your ass a loser. The fuck?
40 in 3 quarters. I didn't even get to play the 4th quarter. The coach after the game shook my hand. He was like, damn, you trying to go for 60 on me? Yeah, like it was really up there. I was really hooping like this.
Yo, Lulu.
Excuse me, bitch, I was running on my bag. Money on my shoulder, put designer on my ass. This shit too nice, but it's fucking up my head. So I be getting high, but I ain't popping fuckers damn.
Quick, if you could go back to high school, be 17 again, would you do it all over again? Me personally, fuck no, I'm not doing that. But somebody decided to go and test this thing out, take it for a test spin. Now, this video is coming from Sports for Days. 17 again. The 25-year-old who played high school basketball. Now, I'm not going to waste no more time. Niece, nephew, you already know who name I'm going to call. It's your Uncle Lou. Just make sure you hit that thumbs up.
Had a new star player. A 17-year-old transfer student from Houston who seemed a little bit older, a little more polished, and a lot better than the competition. Turns out that he was, because he wasn't 17, he was actually 25. After finding a major loophole in the system, Sidney Gilstrap Portley went undercover in Dallas and tried his hand at high school basketball for the second time around. Today we're going to go into the story of the man who was an adult that pretended to be a teenager, and for a while he actually pulled it off. Was he someone that wanted to relive his high school glory days, or did he have a genius plan to make it out of a situation that he almost got away with? What made him do it? How did nobody notice? And did he take his hoop dreams too far with a plan that sounds like it's straight out of a movie?
Bro, the balls on somebody to even try to attempt to do this is insane. I give it to you for even
He's
trying.
definitely one of one. This is some shit you'll see on the movie.
Now I ain't gonna lie, bro. Like when I first seen the story, right? I was like, bro, this shit sound like somebody from a movie.
My mama, everybody said that.
One of the coaches they played him said that he was unstoppable out on the court. It sounds like the plot of a movie. In fact, I think it was one back in the 90s.
He gamed the system since August at not one, but 3 different schools.
Today, how did a 25-year-old man enroll in Dallas ISD as a student?
He fooled us, he did. And it's painful to even say that.
They feel like stupid that they didn't realize it.
Was he trying to get an education, or, I mean, I don't know. 25, we old.
Bro, and you know what's crazy? That's around my age, right? So, it's funny how, like, back then, that shit is old as fuck. Now it's like, dude, I'm in the present with it. I'm actually 26, but I'm in the present with it. But like, if you ask me, bro, go back to high school for what? Bro, I'm in such a different time period from back then. It's fucking crazy.
Sidney Bouvier Gilstrap Portley was born on November 16, 1992
Hell of a name.
in Dallas, Texas, to his parents Angela and Sidney Sr. His father was incarcerated at the time of his birth, so he, his mother, and his grandmother moved around for a few months before they settled into the 6-4 Ferguson Projects in East Dallas, which is an area well known for his gangs and his drug dealing.
And we out here all day, every day, snapping in. Every day, I ain't gonna lie, I got my bank account.
The drug dealer would hit close to home for him when his father, while he was around, would actually make Sidney help him sell marijuana. He excelled in all sports, but his early love for LeBron James made him gravitate towards basketball at the age of 11. He showed early promise, with people in the neighborhood comparing him to Baron Davis, Monte Ellis, and Josh Smith. When it was time for high school, his father saw his talent and convinced Sidney to move in with him in Plano, Texas, so he can attend Plano Vines High School. His father thought that getting him away from his rough environment in Ferguson would be good for him, plus he thought that he would be able to dominate all the suburban kids there in basketball. His time in Plano didn't last.
No, I'm actually curious how this is going to play out. I hope they tell the full-fledged story, because it's like, I'm curious, where was he staying? Like, if you were 25, you were living on your own and just attending a different school and shit? Like, nobody else knew about this in your like present life?
It's long, however, because his father
What were
would end
you
up being
doing?
arrested again, which led to him moving back with his mother and transferring to North Mesquite High School back in Dallas, where he would play junior varsity basketball as a freshman. Sidney's immaturity would get the best of him at North Mesquite High, throwing the ball into the stands when he didn't like calls made by the refs. He would get into fights, he showed up drunk to a game, and impregnated his girlfriend.
Wow.
On top of all of that, he had a reputation for being a selfish player that had more of a playground style of basketball.
Oh, so he was ass. That's all you had to say. Just say he ass.
The final straw came his senior season in a game where he got into a shouting match with a fan in the stands, which led to his coach kicking him off the team before the playoffs began. He would graduate from North Mesquite High in 2011, but he still wanted to chase his basketball dream.
2011?
Sydney, Baudier, Gilstrap, Portland.
For the next few years,
Bruh,
he would try to do things.
2011, I was fucking. Wow, I was like 11, 12, bro.
The right way, bouncing around for a few different college teams and semi-pro teams.
I went to Texas Wesleyan. I played at Eastfield. I played at DCC.
How did they get this
I played
interview?
at Sagood. I was at I done transferred like 5 colleges. That shit get old after a while. Yeah, you getting the same results every time. What I'm gonna keep doing that shit for? Then I played for 3 semi-pro teams. Same results. Like, yeah, that shit ain't working out.
He was seemingly
okay, but that be my problem with this shit, right? Because you guys keep playing at all these different colleges, transfer. Now, back then, it wasn't no NIL. I get there's NIL now. But what's the point of doing that shit? Are you trying to go pro or not? Because if you're trying to go to the NBA, that shit left you, bro. If you're trying to go pro, you got to go overseas already, dog. You trying to go 9 years in college for what?
Teams, same results. Like, yeah, that shit ain't working out.
He would seemingly give up on his basketball dreams and enter the workforce to support himself and his son, who was born in 2014, but he would still play basketball at the local rec centers, where the high school kids there would ask him if he could help them with their game. One of the kids would ask Sidney, who was years removed from high school, if he would join his AAU team, the Texas Elite Ballers, as a player. AAU is for kids that are 18 and under, but if you guys know about AAU, it's lawless over there. They don't really verify a lot of paperwork, and they just want their money.
High key.
It's unknown exactly how well he played in the tournament, but one of his teammates clearly had fun with Sidney because he suggested that it would be fun if they played together on the Skyline High School team. Sidney brushed the statement off in the moment, but whoever this kid was planted a seed in Sidney's mind that would change his life. Sidney playing in that AAU tournament made him realize 2 things. 1, that he still had the talent to succeed in basketball, and 2, that he could actually pass as a high schooler. Then he had the idea, if he could sneak his way into playing some high school games, he would be able to get some game film and show it to some professional teams overseas and hopefully have a pro basketball career. He called around to some schools and asked what was necessary for a student to enroll, and this is how he found a major loophole.
Hurricane Harvey is ripping into the Gulf Coast. Residents of Texas, Mississippi, and Louisiana now bracing for the worst.
An historic flood disaster in southeast Texas is likely to continue for days or even weeks. The news is not good there this morning. Rescue crews worked all night long in Houston, pulling stranded people out of vehicles and homes.
Most of America's 4th largest city is now underwater. Radar shows no end to the rain from Tropical Storm Harvey, which made landfall as a Category 4 hurricane more than 48 hours ago.
The summer of 2017 saw the most active American hurricane season ever, and started to reach its peak on August 17th when Hurricane Harvey began to form. It started in the Caribbean as just a tropical storm, and then as days went on, it made its way northwest and became much stronger as it approached the United States. By August 26th, it turned into a full-blown Category 4 hurricane with maximum wind speeds of 130 miles per hour, and it would hit the southern part of Texas that morning, reaching cities like Austin and Houston. These areas saw record-breaking amounts of rainfall and caused $51 billion of damage in Texas alone, making this the most expensive storm in state history. 103 people lost their lives due to the storm, and 336,000 people were left without electricity, and over 40,000 people lost their homes. Of the people that became homeless, nearly 24,000 of them were students. The McKinney-Vento Act is a federal act that says every school district must enroll homeless students even without important documents.
Oh, fuck. This sick fuck. Oh, he waited until some shit like this so he could stick his pee-pee in there.
Such as proof of residency and transcripts.
Stick his pee-pee in
This
there.
act became important after Hurricane Harvey because of how many students became homeless, which brings us back to Sidney Gilstrap. When Sidney began calling around to see how he can get back into high school, he found out that he's not going to need any documentation at all as long as he tells them he's a hurricane refugee. As bad as the hurricane was, Dallas was unaffected by it, so Sidney realized that he could enroll in a Dallas school and just tell them that he was from Houston and lost his home to Hurricane Harvey. He would take his son's middle name, Rashawn, and his grandmother's last name, Richardson, and here, Rashawn Sidney Richardson was born.
This nigga sick.
On August 30th,
wait, I'm just amazed. How is he getting interviews after this?
17,
no shame?
24-year-old Sidney would enroll in Skyline High School in Dallas as 17-year-old Rashawn Richardson. Skyline had 4,700 students, so it was easy for him to blend in, but it meant more competition for him to get minutes during basketball season.
6 years after the fact.
He stayed there for 2 months, then on October 26th, he transferred to Richardson High School.
Why?
One day later, on October 27th, he changed his mind and showed up at Hillcrest High School and began to fill out paperwork.
Why?
Since he had no transcripts, he had to enroll as a freshman, and here's where he would choose to get a shot at playing high school basketball again.
That's a reach.
It didn't take long for him to make a name for himself on the basketball court. He reportedly amazed everybody at the very first team practice with his driving skills and his ability to shoot the ball. He would keep a low profile in school, barely ever going, and when he was there, he would mostly have his headphones on all day so he wouldn't blow his cover. Once the season started, however, it became impossible for him to hide. So by this point, I know everybody has the same question. Was he cooking or not?
For real?
I'll be honest, I did some digging, and they scraped a lot of his stats off the internet. Almost everything, but the key word here is almost. I found enough to paint a picture. He took it easy in his first couple games. In his first game, he would score 19 in a loss to Wilmer Hutchins. Then in the next game, he would score 13 of his team's total 24 points in a loss.
Oh, they were ass. He's ass. There's no fucking way in the world. I know I'm blocking it. But there's no fucking way in the world I played any basketball game where the final score is 35-24. What the fuck are y'all doing? In high school basketball game at that.
Lost to Wilmer Hutchins. Then in the next game, he would score 13 of his team's total 24 points in a loss to Skyline, which was his original school of choice, if you remember. After these 2 games, Hillcrest would be scheduled for a weekend road trip to the Louisiana Hardwood Classic tournament, where they would play against the #1 team in the nation, Southwest Christian Academy, out of Little Rock. Here's where things would change. According to the team manager, this is a game where Hillcrest changed their offense from their pass-heavy Princeton offense to a new give the ball to Rashawn offense. He would score 40 points in 3 quarters in an upset victory, and now Sidney, who just turned 25, is now the man at Hillcrest High School.
The fuck?
I dropped 40 in 3 quarters on the #1 team in the nation. That's true though.
Bro, you're a literal 25-year-old man and you're talking about the #1 nation and they were kids. I don't give a fuck if it's my verd. Your ass a loser. The fuck? Who's that a flex to? You and your homeboy over there cheesing. That shit is lame as fuck. What the hell? No way.
I was in Louisiana, 40 in 3 quarters. I didn't even get to play the 4th quarter. The coach after the game shook my hand. He was like, damn, you trying to go for 60 on me? Yeah, like it was really up there. I was really hooping like this.
The following games, he would score 27 points versus Samuel High, 39 points versus Spruce, and 28 points versus Kimball.
What
all in
the
wins.
fuck?
He was absolutely dominating. Hillcrest would lose in the first round of the playoffs to Seagoville, and Rashawn would only score 17 points, and the team finished the year with a record of 11-10. But his play earned him.
Oh, they were ass. 11-10, bro. Numbers don't mean shit if y'all can't win games.
The District 11-5A Offensive Player of the Year award. According to him, His final averages were outrageous.
The numbers you're putting up are crazy. What's the numbers that you're putting up around this time?
Like 35 points, 15 rebounds, and 9 assists, and shit like that.
After the playoffs, he completely stopped showing up to class. He never went back to Hillcrest. He didn't even show up to get his Offensive Player of the Year award. Now, the season is over and Sydney's mission was accomplished. He came, he had a great season. Now, he can take his game film and send it to some overseas teams and hopefully make a way for himself. His master plan appeared to be successful until May 2018, when everything would unravel for Sydney.
It's a good idea, though, in theory, if you do think about it. I'm not saying go back. I don't condone that. Don't go back to school. That shit lame. But he went there. His whole goal was to dominate. It would have been one thing if he didn't do well or if he just played ass. But, like, he went there, killed, and he could have, you know, fucking went off to overseas for real. And he could have got away with it, too, if it wasn't for these meddling kids.
The new guard playing for the Hillcrest High basketball team in Dallas this past season turned a lot of heads. He would sometimes drop 30 or more points in a game. Turns out he really was a man among boys. Tony DeCopel has the score.
It was a year to remember for Rashun Richardson, leading his basketball team to the playoffs this winter and earning the District Offensive Player of the Year award. There was just one problem. Authorities say the supposedly 17-year-old Richardson was actually this man, 25-year-old Sidney Gilstrap Portley, looking for a second taste of athletic glory.
On May 11, 2018, at 11...
My grad year. But, like, dog, that must be heart-wrenching. Like, your heart's in your ass crack once that shit falls.
52 p.m., Sidney was at his girlfriend's apartment in Mesquite when over 10 cops showed up at the door and he was arrested and charged with tampering with government records, which is a felony.
Did the girlfriend know that?
It was then revealed that 17-year-old Rashun Richardson was actually 25-year-old Sidney Gilstrap Portley. By the time he bonded out a few days later, his name was getting national attention. Pretty much every major media outlet covered the story. He was even labeled Donkey of the Day by Power 105 Charlemagne the God. According to reports, a coach at North Mesquite High School, which was his original high school, recognized him at a tournament and alerted the Dallas Independent School District, and that's where things started to fall apart.
He flew under the radar until a former coach at North Mesquite High School recognized him.
So he really could have just went somewhere else and got off with this, bro. He stayed local. That's his problem.
As a former player of theirs.
Sidney, however, has another theory on who might have blown his cover.
They had it in the paper that your old coach from North Mesquite recognized you, and that's how everything got tipped off.
Yeah.
Is that true?
He wasn't even in no games, but I'm thinking this ref was at the games, and his son used to go to North Mesquite with me, and he called me to the score table. And he was like, what's your name? And I told him the name that I made up, which is Rashun Richardson.
Yeah.
And he was like, you look familiar. I was like, nah, I'm up here from Houston or whatever. And he was like, you sure? I was like, yeah, I came up here with my brother or whatever. And he talked to me for about 25 minutes, so it could have been him. And then there was another that was in my class that went to West Mesquite. He was actually at a game at the South Oak Cliff game. And he kept looking at me, so I kind of already knew.
Why the fuck? This guy already knew this shit was dumb. He's saying it.
That's stupid. Use your common sense.
You don't want to do this to yourself, bro. Like, if all these people know what you got going... Oh my gosh, he wasn't even worried about this. He's doing a fucking press run. This was just games to him.
Now, I don't know who that ref is, but he definitely said something. Maybe he wasn't the first or he wasn't the only one to say something, but he definitely alerted authorities. Because imagine you tell somebody, hey, my name's Rashun, I'm from Houston, and their response is, are you sure? Like, what do you mean, am I sure?
That's crazy.
So I'm with Sidney. I think the ref's the one that told everybody. But honestly, I'm surprised he even got away with it as long as he did. According to Sidney, he was well known in the city of Dallas.
So were you surprised you was able to get away with this for so long?
Hell yeah, like everybody know me, like a lot of people know me.
Not only that, but he was also pursuing a rap career, and his rap name was Sin Boo, which is short for his first and middle name, Sidney Bouvier. His PlayStation username, which he used to play 2K and Fortnite with his teammates, was Sidney Gilstrap. He had his initials SG tattooed on his calves, which people just assumed.
This nigga didn't give a fuck. Bro, the shit was his government name, bro.
Stood for shooting guard. He was really hiding in plain sight. Some students did note that he did look a little older, but they thought nothing of it.
I mean, a lot of kids
older,
look
but
older.
when you first see someone, you don't question them.
The team manager even mentioned that on his Instagram, he took pictures like her uncle. One of the forwards on the basketball team, Avi Ahmed, who claimed to be the strongest player on the team, said that when they played against each other and when Sydney would drive to the basket, that he had never felt that kind of strength before. He also pointed out how deep Sydney's voice was.
He talks like that. His voice deep as shit. Like, yeah, oh.
So if you're wondering how he was able to get away with this for so long, you're not alone. But then again, when you're in high school, you're not expecting a grown man to go undercover as one of your classmates. Plus, everybody had people in their school that looked way older than everybody else.
That's what I'm saying.
And if you look at Sydney, he doesn't really look that old at all.
Which is scary.
He was having these spectacular games, but if you look in these crowds, these games were pretty empty, which helped him stay under the radar. I'm just confused as to why he chose a school in Dallas, the city that he was born and raised in. Dallas is the ninth biggest city in America.
From what I know, Texas is pretty big too.
So maybe he thought he would blend in, but there's no way he thought that nobody was ever gonna notice him. When the news broke, there were people who thought of Sydney as weird, but a lot of people were calling him brave too. I mean, I'm pretty sure that most athletes have wondered how dominant they would be if they went back to high school sports.
Hell no.
But that's just a quick thought. You would think nobody would ever go through the process and actually do it. If you suited up to play high school basketball, how much would you average right now?
Damn, I'm not even gonna lie. I'm out of shape as a bitch. Oh my gosh. I don't know. I think I'll struggle, right?
Comment down below. This actually isn't the first time that something like this happened. Just 2 years before this, in April 2016.
I remember this guy. When I was in high school, this was a story. This dude's like, he's way older than Sydney was, though.
17-year-old Jonathan Nicola, who was the star of
He's
Catholic
like
Central
32,
High School
I
team
think.
in Ontario,
Or
Canada,
30.
was arrested after police found out that he was allegedly a 30-year-old man from South Sudan.
He look it,
in
though.
2010, also in Texas.
But bro, all the fucking African dudes around South Florida that play basketball look like this. No bullshit. If you were fucking 15 to 16 in the 2010s, bro, all the African dudes that play basketball look just like that. No bullshit.
Allegedly a 30-year-old man from South Sudan. In 2010, also in Texas, 22-year-old Gerdwich Montnemir was arrested after enrolling at Permian High School in Odessa, Texas, as a 16-year-old freshman by the name of Jerry Joseph.
For more than a year, he successfully convinced school officials, students, even law enforcement that he was 16-year-old Jerry Joseph.
I would never want to go through high school again, though. Like, why would y'all even do that?
From Haiti.
I couldn't imagine not playing basketball right now.
He flew under the radar in plain sight as a basketball star, even being featured in a news story after the devastating Haiti earthquake. His coach, Danny Wright, had sympathy and took him into his own home.
In January 2023, 22-year-old Arlisha Boykins, who was an assistant coach on the Churchland Girls Junior Varsity basketball team in Portsmouth, Virginia, actually impersonated a real 13-year-old student who was just out of town for one game. Arlisha never got arrested, but the school did fire her.
What the fuck? That doesn't
We're back with
surprise
high school
me.
basketball coach now finding herself in the hot seat.
Can you believe this? She allegedly posed as a student athlete, played in a game alongside the other teenagers. What? I know.
Scandal on the court in Virginia in this junior varsity girls basketball game with a coach posing as a player. Player in the black jersey wearing number 1 with the slick moves, scoring baskets, and high-fiving other players was actually no player at all. She's Arlisha Boykins, a member of the Churchland Truckers coaching staff. Boykins suiting up and playing as if she were a student in a weekend game against the Nansemond River Warriors last month. The district says Arlisha Boykins is no longer an employee. Her last day of work was January 25th. The head coach for the junior varsity team was also fired.
Now, this next one has never been officially verified, but there were strong allegations that former NBA player Thon Maker was lying about his age as well.
Hell yeah.
Then we got to ask you about some of the stories we heard today about your age and the questions about whether you're 19 or how old you are. What is your response to some of these allegations?
I didn't have a response for it because I know it's not true. And if it were true, it would have made me angry. I know it's not true. And obviously, that's why. Obviously, it's not true. That's why it didn't get to me.
So how old are you?
I'm 19.
He allegedly graduated from Aranmore Catholic College in Perth, Australia, in the class of 2010 as an 18-year-old. Then he came to America in 2012 and enrolled as a freshman at Carlisle School in Martinsville, Virginia, where he became a star. If the rumors are true, then Thon was a 20-year-old freshman who already graduated high school in another country.
That's crazy.
No charges were ever.
Y'all don't understand though. Thon Maker dominated. Like, look at this fucker. Fucking 7-foot demigod. That's
Virginia, where he became
like
a
this
star.
dude was insane in high school. Bro, I ain't gonna lie. High school back then is so different from now. It was like 2016, 2017, 2018 was so different. Yeah, I would say 2015 to 2018 was like the golden age of 2010 basketball. Because you had all these dudes come out like, look at this fucking freak.
True.
7'1", did everything.
Then Thon was a 20-year-old freshman who already graduated high school
Fucking
in another
old as
country.
shit.
No charges were ever filed and no arrests were ever made, and this is officially still just a rumor. Now, out of all these stories, none of the impersonators have ever spoken about these situations since they came about. But Sydney, on the other hand,
which is crazy,
a few weeks after bonding out from his May arrest, began to do interviews with major Dallas YouTube channels Real Life Productions and Say Cheese TV.
Why?
He wanted to use this viral moment to promote his music career and maybe even monetize the situation. Both interviews, he was asked what he was trying to accomplish, which he would tell them that he was basically just trying to find a way out.
What is your angle, fam? Like,
for real?
Probably hoop this whole season, get some film, and then go overseas by this summer. Like, I wasn't about to stay at the all 4 years.
So what exactly were you after?
To either get some film and take my overseas to make some money and take care of the people. That's all it was.
This alone made people almost admire what he did. They saw that he had a charming personality and saw that he was taking accountability for what he did, and the story had everybody hooked. Producers from This American Life and from ESPN flew down to meet with him and possibly make some kind of documentary about his story, and Sydney had hopes of a movie deal. One detail that was reported during his arrest couldn't seem to go away though, and what started out as a rumor ended up at the forefront, and things would take a dark turn.
He messed with a girl. Watch. He messed with a girl. That barely was part of the reason for this shit.
When Sydney was first arrested, it was also reported that while he was at Hillcrest High School, he was in a relationship with a 14-year-old girl.
What I told you.
He initially denied that it ever happened.
One of the controversial things in the article is that you was dating a 14-year-old.
Never. Come on now, I got a whole baby mama at home.
Okay, yeah, so we need to kill media.
Yeah.
Does your baby mom know that you were doing this? This is actually what's crazy to me. Did she know that you were going to school? My nigga.
Y'all need to go ahead and kill it.
Yeah, because it did have you looking crazy.
Weeks later, however, on July 3rd, 2018, he was arrested on charges of indecency with a minor.
New charges for the 25-year-old man accused of posing as a high school student in Dallas just so he could play on the basketball team. Sidney Gilstrap Portley is being charged with indecency of a child because police believe he dated a 14-year-old girl while pretending to be a student.
The girl and her mother told police that she and Sydney had dated for a brief period while he was at Hillcrest. The girl, who believed that he was 17, told police that they kissed and texted, but nothing further occurred and there was no sexual contact.
Yeah, nah, he's sick, bro.
While we won't ever be fully sure of what happened between the two, the mother of the girl did reveal that she had texted Sydney to better know who her daughter.
But like I said, I do not want to meet you so we can talk and I can get to know you better. I would like to meet you as well so that you can feel at least a little comfortable with her being around me. I always talk to her about how you would feel. That's why we went home. That's why we went to the park and had her home before 8:45. Oh, this is text between the mom and him?
Daughter was dealing with, and she provided those text messages to news outlets.
I would like to meet you as well so that you can feel at least a little comfortable with her being around me. That's why I had her home before 8:45, so you won't think nothing extra going on.
This new charge ruined all chances of this being a feel-good story.
Yeah.
One would have to think, if the plan was just to get some game film, why do all the extra stuff?
Cause he's a nigga.
He would plead guilty.
No, cause he's a nigga, bro, and he can't. He's stuck in his nigga ways, bro. Like, bro, you. First of all, why were you fucking going back to school anyway? Fucking weirdo. Anybody agreeing with that shit was fucking doomed from the get go. I'm cussing. I don't care. And then it's like, bro, you're a horny ass, bro. You just had to. You just had to do this shit. You just had to.
Tampering and indecency charges and avoided jail time, being sentenced to 6 years of probation. The production companies that were interested in his story suddenly wanted nothing to do with him, and if you look at his interviews, he's all smiles, and that's because now he has national attention, which he says is going to be his way to provide for his family.
How?
Whether a movie comes from this or if it boosts his rap career. His willingness to do whatever it takes and make a way for himself is bold, but this stunt could be considered as selfish, just like his early high school culture said about him, because it affected a lot of people in the process. The girl he dated was so embarrassed that she had to transfer schools, and her family also sued the Dallas Independent School Department for negligence. The Hillcrest basketball team had to forfeit every game that Sydney played in that year.
That's tough.
The school district made
they were 11 and 10.
laws on accepting homeless students much stricter, which will only affect students that are actually homeless. The narrative around Sydney is that he was trying to relive his high school glory days, but according to him, he never had any glory days. He averaged 7.7 points per game in his first high school stint. At a glance, it looks like maybe he just wasn't good, but it was his attitude problems that held him back. According to everybody, the talent was always there. His one chance he got to sign at North Mesquite, he scored 22 points off the bench and was kicked off the team shortly after. Him going back to Hillcrest to have another crack at high school was a risky move, and he ended up paying the price.
Fucking weirdo, man.
These days, Sydney is on YouTube giving motivational talks, and he's still pursuing his rap career.
Well, hopefully, I know this video may find you. This was never the way. That was never the way. The best bet, though, I ain't gonna lie, I would commend you for actually like having this in place and following through with this shit. I would say, because this actually crazy that anybody will follow through with this, and you almost got away with it. If you would have probably went somewhere else, you would have definitely got away with it. But you decided to stay in the same city. People laughing that shit off. That shit is not it. But it is what it is, Jit. We'll catch you in the next one. Ooh, ah.
Good gas in me just to put me to sleep. My bitch, she a so she love when I'm geek. Wild and out, how I be conceited. DJ D-Rec, how I cut to the beat.